Station, everyone. Happy new comic book day. Happy Whiplash Wednesday with the PCP Army Bad Batch. It all started over on Tomorrow Cinema's channel. Wait, Tomorrow Cinema? No, he had a name change. That's right, guys. It's Manny's Different Perspectives. He's doing a lot of great work over there with reviewing comic books, and it kind of has the theme going on over there. So definitely go check out his channel. Then next up after that is Nick Comic Culture with his Cadets, Toys, and Comics look at video, sneak peek a little bit into Cadets, Toys, and Comics comic book store. Check out what they have for new comic book day, what they have for toys and collectibles. And I'll get to the rest after this video because right now is chatting with the comic community. And I'm super excited to have this person on. She's been kind of opening herself up to YouTube a little bit more. She was more onto the Instagram platform, but now she's coming onto YouTube and she's coming full force. Has a great channel and is just talking about comics she loves and has brought together some of the most amazing people in this community together to review comic books. And I was put on to this person by Sheena, HK Wifey, station to her. Huge shout out to her in this video. But enough of me talking about this person. Let me just go ahead and bring her out.
God. Oh my God.
Station.
Station, Travis. Oh my God, that's so cool. Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you on this fabulous Saturday?
Oh, I'm good, but it is Wednesday. Whiplash Wednesday. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, everybody gets a little bit confused sometimes.
Yeah, I'm that person. I promise you, I'm that person. Like you were like, don't say the thing. What thing? The thing I just said right now. I'm sorry.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Ultra Q, everybody that's watching. So to everybody that doesn't know a lot about you, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, look at that. Oh geez. Oh my God. I am Ultra Q, aka Kiana with a Q. I love comic books. I'm a geek. I'm dull. Okay. I'm so dull, but my favorite hobby is reading comics, talking about comics, just I don't know, big up in other people. That's me. I mean, that's who I am. I like to be the happy, shiny person in the room. I like to motivate people. I just love to love life. I mean, and then it gets a little crazy on Saturdays, and then that's pretty much me. That's all. That's all I got.
That is awesome. So let's get right into it. How did you get into comic book reading / collecting?
Okay, so all right, this is a story that is pretty brief, but it's all right. So we all go through those moments in our lives where like life is like WTF land. And Prime, which is my favoriteest person in the world, he knows me so well and he knows I love like myth and mysticism and adventure and action and you know all that fun stuff and heroes. And he came in one day and he was like, this is going to cheer you up. And I'm like, what? You know, what could possibly cheer me up at this point? So he hands me a Thor comic, and it was Thor, and it was during the God Butcher series. And I read it, and I was like, I'm going to try to censor myself. I threw F-bombs a lot. I'm sorry. I was like, oh my God, I effing love this. And I was like, I need more of this in my life. And he was absolutely right because he knows me so well. And it just totally just lifted like my whole mood, my whole energy. And that's when I found out comics are only once a month. And I had to wait all the way into the next month. And he definitely bought me the follow-up issue. And it just kind of got started from there. And then Saga was the second series that I actually picked up on my own when I actually had the energy and the bravery to actually like walk into the comic shop by myself and like, you know, browse around. And I saw Saga sitting on the shelf and I just saw this beautiful woman and this handsome man, and they looked like they were about to get into some craziness. And I was like, I opened it up and I was like, I gotta read this. So Thor and Saga pretty much drew me in. Off and on from comics from a couple years after that, but then when the world got a little crazy, we needed an escape, so I doubled back and I doubled down, and I really found a great way to just release my energy and my creativity in comic book land. And that's pretty much my story. I'm sorry, it's a dull story.
So, did you watch any of the movies, the Marvel movies, before you even got into the comic books?
I'm gonna say yes. Like most other people, Iron Man, kind of like drew us in, but that was before we all had these phase three, phase nine. It was just Iron Man. It was like oh, let me double all the way back. Fantastic Four, the cheesy one from way, way back with like the Sue Storm with the bad blonde wig and all that stuff like that. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything that I felt like I needed to like follow up on or anything, but I liked it. And then of course when Marvel actually took over. I think that was Sony. When Marvel actually took over their own like catalog and it came out with like Iron Man and we're all in the movies just with like big giant circle eyes, like what is this? Oh my god, do more of this! And then they did the whole end credit scene. You thought the movie was over and you're like walking out and you're like, and then like a whole other scene pops up. You're like, what the F is this? So
Yeah, you
yeah,
get you get General Ross, or who was it? Shows up at the end of Iron Man from the
right,
Incredible Hulk, like the same
yes,
actor and everything. So we're
yes,
like sitting there, we're like, oh, they're
yes.
connected.
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes, Thunderbolt Ross. Thunderbolt Ross, I believe his name is. Yep. That, and it was like it was mind blowing. So of course, some people became comic book movie fans, and when I actually got into comics, I started really digging into Marvel Land, and the movies only made it better. For me personally, I know some people disagree with that, but I think the movies kind of enhanced my love for comics, especially with their casting. They did fantastic casting in the movies that really, I think, had a good sync with the characters that they created in the comic book version. So, yeah.
Yeah, like nobody, I don't think anybody can ever be Iron Man
Right,
besides Robert Downey Jr.
right, right. What is her name? Is it Ironheart? Oh my God. Yes, I think it's Ironheart.
Riri Williams, I
Yes,
think.
yes. I think if they don't, I hope they don't decide to recast Iron Man, but I think if they decided to do a Riri Williams like an Iron, I think that would be, a plausible substitute for that spot, as opposed to recasting Robert Downey Jr.
So you stick with strictly Marvel titles. Like I watch your channel and I know, but like I know Sheena is kind of pushing you more towards DC because she's a DC fan girl, just like I'm a DC fanboy. So
Oh, okay, DC Nation. Yeah, you guys are all like DC Nation, but I have to do an update. I have branched so far out from Marvel Land. Yes, I definitely originally my origins are in Marvel Comic Universe, but I branched out because I love a great story. And Marvel sometimes gets a little stagnant or a little repetitive with their stories. So I have within the last, I would say 6 months, not quite a year, but within the last 6 months, I have been branching so far out into indies. And that's really where my primary focus has been. Like Marvel has been like one or two titles, every other week, but indies have been tops of my list, like the last minimum 6 months for sure.
I'd have to agree. I do read Marvel, but it's mostly like on the Marvel Unlimited app because I have access to that. And but
Hmm.
I was mostly DC, but I am dropping a lot of DC titles and sticking to just like because I'm keeping myself on a budget and I'm more picking up indies a lot more now than
Hmm.
DC. Also,
Right.
I utilize my library, which is a perfect way to like read trade paperbacks or get caught up on
Sure.
titles too if you have that access.
Sure.
But I'm so proud of you that you're getting into DC. Like I could talk about DC all day. Like I love my CW shows. I don't know if you watch any of the CW shows.
Titans. I watch Titans. Uh that's pretty much I don't really watch a lot of TV. But I have HBO Max and I was home one day and I just had a lot of time and I didn't really feel like doing a lot of anything and I just was flicking around and I was like HBO Max. If you like DC, you need HBO Max. There's like a whole like mini hub portlet of just nothing but like DC stuff. So I found Titans, and I watched season one, I think, and some of season two, but I think they're on three now. So yeah.
Three is a lot better than two.
Okay.
Just to say that. I don't know if because in Canada we don't get HBO Max, we have to like get it through a different streaming service and then pay extra for it as well. So you're paying
Oh my
double for it.
god. Oh
Um,
goodness.
I don't know if Swamp Thing is on there, but if it is, you should definitely check out Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Season
Okay.
season one. It was fantastic. I am sad that it got canceled after the first season, but hopefully we can bring it back.
Yeah, it's hard. You have to find an audience, you know. You have to find a audience that's going to stick with you through thick and thin, you know. And some of the shows just they don't give them a chance, you know. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out just for you.
All right. So moving on, like let's go back to your earlier years. Before you got into reading comics and that, like what kind of like cartoons and TV shows did you watch back when you were a child?
You know what? I was thinking about that question, and I would say it wasn't the cartoons I watched when I was a little girl. It was the cartoons that I watched when I was entering young adulthood that I would feel like I had the most connection with. You know, when you're a little kid, you're just like looking at stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, outside, oh, okay, outside. You know, back and forth TV outside, but like young adulthood, you know, when you're first stepping out there into the world and bills and working and, you know, trying to maintain like a household, it's like, it's so stressful. And I remember, I'll just say this. I remember a lady I used to work with, she said SpongeBob saved her life. And I was like, I didn't get it. You know, she was like, she was going through this crazy period and she discovered SpongeBob and it just kind of like lifted her spirit. I can honestly say Cartoon Network saved my life. Like it literally reconnected me with happiness and joy and what it means to be alive and just enjoying life, not just being alive, living, but being alive and enjoying life. Like regular show and Ben 10 and like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and like Robot Chicken and you know Generator X. Like I remember that whole Friday night lineup like the back of my hand, and it was like it was just those cartoons really brought me back to life. I would say, you know, it's so easy when you start, you know, getting into adult life to get stuck in that zombie zone, you know, work, sleep, eat. And then those cartoons really connected with me. The characters, the animation was like, you know, old school animation. And it really just zapped me back to life, really just brought me alive for real. Cartoon Network, that was my jam right there. Friday nights.
I have to. It gives you that escapeness, like you
Yes.
escape from this world, and that you can. It brings you back to childhood in a way. Like you feel like a kid again watching it, and like I still watch cartoon movies. Like Roscoe put me on to Ron's Gone Wrong, and that movie just made me laugh so hard and just like touched me in the feels like so much. I was like, ah,
The feels are good. I remember you were telling me that. I was like, oh, I'm so happy you loved it. I saw the end of that movie. It was really cute. And, you know, the little boy had to let his friend go so that all the other little kids could have, you know, best friends too. And I was like, you know, had a nice little moral in there too, you know. I liked it. I saw the end. I thought it was cute. I had to watch the whole thing one day.
you just watch the end. You're like, oh, I'll just watch the end, and that's it.
It was just on TV. Like I was walking by and like Prime was watching it, and I just stopped and just like watched the end real quick with him.
Prime, if you're watching this, make her watch it.
Everybody always says that. Make her watch that. It's hard to get me to sit still. Like he knows. It's like, oh my god, I have like adult ADD or something. I can't sit still.
Oh man, I love cartoons growing up. Yeah, it gives you that escapeness from the world, and that like instead of like you said being a zombie, and that you're not walking through the world, and that you can take a step back and enter a new world and just enjoy that world that you're immersed in by just
Hmm.
watching that.
Yes, yes, definitely. I needed that. They really did. I'm so sad when they started changing all that, but you know, for that period of time, that is what really kept me motivated, really kept me going, really kept me enthusiastic about being alive.
Now you said the regular show. I know that there was a show that done by the same creator, and he came back and did a show for Netflix called Close Enough. Have you watched that?
No, is that new? Like, is that recently? Because I pretty much quit Cartoon Network when they rechanged that whole lineup. I quit. So
Um, It's not on. It was on Netflix. It wasn't on Cartoon Network, I
Oh,
think.
okay, gotcha.
And
Okay,
yeah, it looks like the characters, but they're actual humans. Like I know with
okay.
the regular show, it was like what a bird and a
It was a gumball machine. It was a Yeti. Oh my God, raccoon. Well, Mordecai and Rigby were a robin and no, a blue jay and a raccoon. And
okay.
then they had a cloud girl. She had like a cloud head, but like a regular human body. Oh my God, that show was awesome.
I
I
never
love it.
watched that show, but I know a lot of people
Oh,
loved it.
oh my God, I have a stuffed Rigby upstairs. Like, oh my God, you gotta just check it out at random. Like, you don't even have to start from like, the number one episode. Just any random place, just stop and just check it out.
So, so you mentioned cartoons. You love the regular show, and that Cartoon Network. When did you fall off cartoons? Are you still
Oh
watching
wait,
cartoons?
do
Oh,
you wanna? I wanted to.
let's big screen this. Let's get this right out.
Oh my God, yeah, this is Rigby. Oh my God, he always looks like he's on something.
He kind of looks like he's like would be related to Crash Bandicoot.
Yes, yes. They're probably cousins, I'm sure.
Well, since Crash is brought up, do you play video games at all?
Oh my goodness, I have to say I do not. I don't have the focus for it. I mean, it looks so cool. I got a gamer chair now. So I mean, I have the whole setup for it. I just never had the focus for it. But oh my God, when we did used to play games, we played oh my God, Invaders. And I'm really just going all the way back to like Blockbuster night with this one. Okay. It was like Invaders M. It was like what was the one from Mars? It was like Attack from Mars. It was like the little alien pretending he was like human and he would like, oh my God. And then the Sims and oh my God, I'm being so silly. Oh my God. Like just random like the boxing games, bowling. Nothing like hardcore like gaming though, just entertainment stuff.
Well, what about Mario?
Of course. Oh my God. But not the newer, like nothing past like Mario Kart. Like I know there's been so much after that, but Mario Kart was probably as far as I went.
Now, what would you say like your favorite Mario game was?
Oh my God. If you want me to be honest, people are gonna be like, she's so effing lame. All right, my honest favorite Mario was Super Mario Brothers 3. And that's when he had the little like raccoon tail and you could like make him like run and then like he would start flying and stuff like that. And then if you made him run like really, really fast, he would like run behind the scene and like disappear behind the scene. So yeah. I don't know what was so fascinating about that one, but I guess because I just really liked it. I like to make him disappear and fly and all that stuff like that.
It was something new. If you look back at it, like a lot of stuff wasn't happening at that time. That was something very new. Like you have like him being able to like disappear, have cheats in that, and to have like features and stuff. Like they had features that weren't in games at that time either.
Right, yeah, yeah. It was just like you said. It was just like just brand new world, and sometimes you wouldn't
Yeah,
even play the game. You just making Mario running back and forth.
it was a lot of fun. I love that game. Mario has been a big part of my life. I love everything Mario. Like, but I haven't played past like a certain games like you. I think the last game I played for it was something on GameCube. I did play like Mario
Oh.
Baseball. I love Mario Baseball.
Yeah, GameCube. Yes, I remember GameCube. Yes, and you put the little disc in the top. Yes, I remember that.
Um, but I would have to say like Mario. I loved Mario RPG, which was for Super Nintendo, I think. And then I did love Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door was my favorite one.
Okay, okay, cool. I mean, you can't go wrong with Mario. It's like Scooby Doo. It's just some staples that you can't go wrong with.
No, so it was just all. That's all that you watched as for cartoons was the Cartoon Network. Like, what year was that generally? Like, because you're talking about years like when I watched Cartoon Network, it was a lot of like Family Guy and
No, I think this was after that. Like Cartoon Network had they had Adult Swim, which is probably what you're talking about. Like Adult Swim was after 11, and that's when actually Family Guy started off on Fox, and Fox totally canceled it because the world wasn't ready. And then Cartoon Network picked it up for their Adult Swim, which came on like late, and it was like adult, like young adult people for in my particular era, or probably yours too. And we would be up at night, and that's how Family Guy actually got picked up again and put back. Like it just became like a phenomenon, late night phenomenon, and Fox totally just snatched it all the way back. What years were that? Oh God, is that like the two mid 2000s? I think was
Yeah, it was
like
when oblongs and
yeah.
undergrads and
I didn't
well,
like that show. It scared me. The oblong.
oh, the oblongs.
Yes, it scared me. I was like, oh, this is freaky. Like, because they all had like I don't know, something about that show just freaked me out.
Yeah, there was the oblongs quads. Quads was the other one that was really weird. Buddy with like was just a head on a.
Yeah. Yeah, just thinking about it. Yeah, you brought back an interesting memory. I remember that. I was like, yeah, I remember.
But
I mean, but I love the classics that everybody else loves, of course, like, the He-Man and, the Transformers. And I mean, Transformers movie, we actually have that we have that on video cassette, I believe. Like, that's like a collector's thing. Like, we have it on video cassette, but obviously, those are the staples, of our generation. So I
you're talking
absolutely,
about like the Transformers cartoon movie.
yes, I'm talking about the original. One shall stand, one shall fall, and then Prime totally just not my Prime, but Optimus Prime totally just like fell. And then I mean yeah, that is the staple I think of our generation, which I think is the best generation. I mean, the things we grew up on, they weren't like mindless entertainment. They actually wanted us to be better people. They wanted to teach us lessons of helping each other, teamwork, striving, overcoming odds and obstacles. And I mean, even freaking Scooby Doo from like way back when, you can watch it at any point in time. Even when I was growing up, Scooby Doo, even though what it was originally from like what the late 60s, watching it even when I was a kid, you connected with it. It was a group of friends banding together, to save the day. So yeah, our cartoons were probably, I feel like, the best cartoons. But like I said, the ones that I watched when I was a little bit older really helped me through a weird period of time, that transition into adulthood. And they took me back to being a child.
Yeah, I do have. I did recently watch the Transformers animated movie. Actually, it's been about a year, I think now. But my Transformers was also always the Beast Wars, just because of what I grew up with.
Right,
So,
right.
but I do love the G1 as well. I did love the first Transformers movie, like the
Mhm.
live action movie, but then I kind of fell off after that.
Oh yeah, that was like, oh my God, Peter Cullen's voice. That's a funny story. Like we actually bought T-shirts and everything. There's this crazy picture. We have like matching T-shirts, and we're like going in the movies to go see it, and the lights go out, and then you just hear Peter Cullen's voice come on, and like Prime just like loses his shit, and he's just like, "Oh my God, that's Optimus Prime," and it's like I'm like, "Oh my God, you're ruining for everybody. Be quiet." So that movie was like a game changer, I think, in like the because Transformers was a comic book at one point in time. So that movie was like a game changer for like comic book enthusiasts to see your favorite characters moving in 3D.
I love how like Transformers. It was mostly going to be a toy, and like they how a lot of stuff that are like iconic now, like GI Joe and Transformers and that, were made as a toy and then made into a cartoon to sell the toy, but then got a huge fan base, and now it's like all about that, and it's just crazy that you can think about it that it came from a toy first.
Right. Oh, see, now I didn't know that. I always thought it was a cartoon and then a toy. But you said it was a toy, and then they made them into cartoons. Okay, all right. I always thought it was reverse. No, I see what they did there.
But like I'm pretty sure it's like Transformers were further back than that as well with stuff. But I know the GoBots were there. I think there was something to do with in Japan. They took something, but don't quote me on that. There's a lot of history of Transformers that I don't know a lot about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the myth and the legend. I just know, like just it was just a good time. It was just like random fun. But like I said, in the middle of all that, they were like, stick to be a team, overcome obstacles, and be great. So those were the lessons that I always got of watching like those cartoons.
Yeah, it was fantastic. The only cartoon I think that was a comic book first and then got made into a cartoon and then revamped and stuff was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, I remember that cartoon. I remember April O'Neil had that freaking yellow onesie jumpsuit. And that hair. I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like her outfit is that's what I got. I'm sorry, I'm being girly, but I just remember her outfit more than anything. That's my girly
Yeah.
coming out.
She was pretty bright. Like you'd have the yellow jumpsuit and then the red hair. I think it
Yes.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love the first generation Ninja Turtles, like Shredder and just that nasty pizza they were always eating. I was like, ugh, when they were eating it, it never looked appealing.
No, I always thought it looked appealing to me like that.
Really?
As
Oh.
a kid, I was just like, that's the kind of pizza I want.
See, that's a guy. A girl was like, ew, what are you doing? Don't eat that.
Like so gooey and that. Look like,
Oh yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, oh no, don't pass me a slice of that.
Now, talking about the generation, like just because the gooiness and stuff. Let's go back to like, do you remember creepy crawlies? And it was kind of like the girls had their thing. They had the easy bake oven, and then we had the creepy crawlies where we'd make like these creepy crawly things, like not edibles though, not like you girls can eat your cupcakes and that. But like we had like the things that turn you can make like spiders and like different color spiders and that. Do you
Right.
remember those?
It does sound familiar now that because I think I was thinking of the candy, but I think I get what you were saying when you were like, you would make them and then like what you could like fling them on the wall or something like that, right?
Yeah, like and you can add what colors you want to make them and stuff. Like you
Right.
just had to add the colors to the like the goop.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But us ladies in our easy babe, we was just like,
I think you guys got the better end of like it would have been cool if we could eat the gummy, like eat them, like
right.
and like that's the only reason I want an easy bake oven because it's like I want cupcakes. Like that's the only reason. Like they should make a boys version for this and like
Oh,
not
you
make
could
it pink.
totally eat all those snacks. Like, I mean, they were good too. They had like a nice fresh taste to them. So I kind of feel bad for you guys that you didn't get that version of it for your gummies.
Yeah, because like you can invite your like your guys over and that and be like, hey guys, let's go play in my room. Ding.
Right,
Here's
right.
some cupcakes. They'd be all looking at you like you're crazy, even though they're delicious. They'd be like, "No, we're out of here."
I'm gonna say they're going to eat the cupcakes regardless. Now, whether they're going to stay
Yeah, it's
after
just like,
that,
give me
I
this, but we're out.
don't
We're
know.
out. We're not hanging out with that guy. Has an easy bake oven in his room.
Definitely
Yeah, it's
taking the
pink and
cupcakes
everything.
Oh my! I was looking at Instagram and somebody had this. Do you remember what was it called? And I just remember like seeing various people that I grew up with. They I didn't have one, but various people that I knew had one. It was called My Pet Monster. Did you ever seen that before? My Pet Monster. It was like
I remember the Tamagotchis. Is that the same thing?
I don't know, but it was called My Pet Monster. It was like it just had like a chain and stuff on it. Oh my god! Whenever you hop off of this, look it up. It might look slightly familiar. I didn't have one, but I remember people had one. I saw one on Instagram. I was like, oh yeah, I remember those were so people were running around with those playing outside with them.
That's different.
Mhm.
We had a lot of weird things that like aren't here with us now, like that we had back then
Mhm.
that are just crazy. Like, can you name some like toys that you had, like some crazy toys that you played with as a kid?
Oh my gosh. I I'm trying to oh gosh. You taking me way back. I can't even, all right. Not crazy toys, but I would say can I tell you my funnest toys that I had? Like to me personally, my funnest toys. All right, so I'm girly, but I have like a little, what they used to call them tomboys. I had a little tomboy in me, but I was very girly. So my mom would always make sure I had girly toys, and my uncles would always make sure I had like boy toys. And I think the best Christmas ever was when I got both a Barbie dream house and an RC racetrack. Do you remember our Hot Wheels RC racetrack? You remember that? So
Yeah.
that was like the best Christmas ever because I had this gigantic Barbie playhouse and it came fully loaded. Even had like a little barbecue grill and with like little mini hot dogs and everything like that. She had her little dream car and she could walk up to the patio. But I also, when I got tired of like that, I could go over and like hook together like the racetrack and like race all the cars and stuff around the living room because the living room was like toy playland. So those were like that was like my favorite era, like just those kind of toys. Like just I don't know, you could just in your mind be adventurous and just go on your own little mini adventure real quick in your mind.
Yeah, it was always fun just discovering new things back then. I
Mhm.
remember playing with so many different types of toys, at that time, I remember one year I was going to a friend's house, and he got so much. He got a foosball table and air hockey, and I was like, "What the frig, man?"
Right. Some people have big Christmases like that, I can't lie, I had big Christmases. I got a pink taffy bike. And it was called Pink Taffy because the whole bike was pink. And then like I said, girly meets tomboy, and then my uncles got me a navy blue scooter. So I had a pink bike and then like a blue scooter. So they always made sure like I had best of both worlds. So I can't complain. I was one of those kids. I didn't get a foosball table now. They didn't take it that far.
Now, were you adventurous as a kid at all? Because I remember when I was a kid, what we did, because like we live around, we're surrounded by water, but we also have like rivers and ponds and that. So we would go to this place called
Mhm.
Friendship Park, and we'd like go there to catch snakes, garter snakes, not poisonous snakes. Just they bite, but it goes away. It hurts for a second, then goes away. But like we used to go there and we catch snakes and frogs and that and salamanders. Did you do any type of stuff like that?
I have to say, when I was younger, I did not. I was an only child. And my mom was extremely protective of me. So I couldn't go past like the house area. So it was like all my adventures were always in a house. I had a big, huge imagination. And she's always talking about how I used to always build like booby traps and like just like little mini pathway adventures for myself. And underneath, my grandma had a giant like dining room table, like one of those old like Victorian dining room tables, and under there I would just set up my little cave. And my adventure was in the house. And then when I got older of age and I could escape on my own, that's when I started doing like stuff like what you're talking about, not catching like snakes and stuff. But I've definitely in my adult years, I made up for all that time. I've done a mud run and almost died. I've climbed a couple mountains. I went to Olympia National Park in Canada before, Victoria. Over there, I climbed that, almost fell off the mountain. That was fun. I made up for all the times when I was little and had a giant imagination. When I became an adult, I lived out a lot of that. So I'm blessed in that arena.
So I could see you being like a fort builder. Like you're like the queen of making forts back then.
Yes, yes. I mean, my grandma's couch cushions, like, stacking those together. And like I said, underneath her giant table. And oh my, yeah, definitely. I got creative. Like I said, my mom said I left a lot of stuff around that people would trip on and just, oh my God, yeah. Big
Well,
imagination.
every kid always does that. Leave something out.
Yeah, yeah.
I can remember the only thing that I really made that I can remember and be like proud of is I took the couch cushions and like put the reclining chair up and like surrounded myself with it and made a spaceship.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh my God, that's
So
sweet.
that would be like my favorite thing is like making a fort as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's your own little world, especially like I said, for me, when I wasn't really like allowed to like go to many places, it's like a kid is still a kid. A kid still wants to know, what's out there and just, explore the world. So you do the best you can. And then, like I said, when I became an adult, I found the world and the world found me. And it's been, a great team up.
Yeah, it's been great. So now you've adventured into this community, and then you found a lot of people. Like I said earlier, Sheena, shout out to her. She introduced me to you. She's like, you should check out this person in that. Check out what she has in that. You may like it, you may not, but
Right.
it doesn't hurt to try. So I went over and I tried, and I liked it. And now we're here right now. I want to hear your story of coming into this community. Like, how did you find this community, and how did you get immersed into this community?
Okay, so running all the way back. Well, I'm on season 3, but running all the way back to the original, like I said, Prime and I, we would just sit and just have these random crazy conversations about all kinds of stuff, aliens and like just random conversations. And we was like, you know what? We should just like video some of this stuff. Like, so we just started like just videoing ourselves with these and we were just like all over the place with it. And then eventually, you know, as we started like reading comic books more, we just kind of like honed in our chat on comic books specifically. Marvel at that time. And then like I said, things happen. He has his own thing going on. So it was kind of just me. I fell off because, life, work, adulthood, all that crazy stuff. And then with everything that happened, like I said, in the world, it was like I circled back to reading comics as an escape. And but I'm a people person. I love to talk. I talk all the time. And it was like, I still wanted to connect with the world because I'm a very like in-person kind of person, and I love like, hanging out with people and talking to people. At that point, obviously, that was a little shaky. So I'm like, I still want to talk with people. I still want to communicate with people. I still want to like tell people good morning and how are you doing. I still want to, motivate people. I still want to like be in their motivating energy. I still want to share adventures and like see what other adventures people are going on. So as I'm reading the comics, I'm like, I should still just do this vlogging thing. So I just started it up again. I just started just talking to myself mostly and just putting out, these videos, and I went on Instagram and I just started just putting my thoughts and my energy out there. And I have to give 1000% of the credit to Puff Comics. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but Puff Comics is, I always give him 1000% of the credit because he reached out through Vlogland and it was like, come on our show and just, talk to us. And Prime and I went on there, and he is the one who I believe actually introduced me to Sheena. And Sheena is just like the absolute queen of comic book land. And like she just was like, I told her, I was like, I imagine it as like, when you're in school or, college or whatever, and you meet like this super dope person. And they're like, you have to come with me everywhere. And we're going to go to all these great places and we're going to hang out. And I'm going to introduce you to everybody. And it was like in my mind, like, even though it was like virtual, in my mind, like that's how I always imagined it. It was like her just taking me to all these parties and just
you,
hanging out.
you had that whole like, did we just become best friends? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm telling you, I had a whole like movie scene in my mind that played out, even though it was like virtual. So I said Puff for sure, 1000%, and then like Sheena and her fantastic energy, looped me into you guys. Actually, I mean, there were other people that I, associated with, because I told her I, been in a couple different comic communities and still kind of float through there, but she's the one. Puff and then Sheena are the ones who like looped me into like this whole fantastic community. I'm forever grateful for that because you guys are just, you're freaking awesome. I mean, like you guys, like I sit back and I'm just like, wow, look at how loving and supporting everybody is. Like I was looking at your intro and I'm like, I don't want you to like interview me. I want to interview you, and I want to talk about you guys and how awesome you are and like all the things that you do and just like your Whiplash and just your whole little sub community that you have going on. I just think it's fantastic. I want to know like all about it. Like I love this station thing. I can't get it right. I don't do it as awesome as Sheena does, but I like saying it, you know.
Yeah, it's just station. It's from Bill and Ted. I don't know if you've ever watched those movies. It's from Bogus Journey. They say station. It's an alien that came down, and they just think it's station, but he's just
Okay.
There's a
Cool.
whole thing on it. It came from Robbie's channel, Pop Culture Philosophers.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh my God. I love it. I love that is just so cool. I just love you guys' energy for sure. Just the whole like your subset, but just the whole universe that, everybody has created and just how just welcoming and supportive everybody is. I think it's fantastic. I wish the world was like this for real, for real.
Well, we can make the world like this. We're
Yes.
taking it one step at a time. We're slowly getting there.
Yes. I love it. Master plan. I love it.
So, like, who was it that initialized the whole like doing like teaming up and doing videos? Because you guys started doing videos on Instagram, and then you guys moved from there, and you're doing more and more videos. Who instigated that? Was that you saying like, Sheena, get on here with me? Because I know Sheena's shy.
Sheena's not shy. Sheena, if you're watching this, I know you are not shy. Okay. And I told you one day when I come to Vegas or you come here, we're gonna get kicked out of so many clubs. It's gonna be so fun. Yeah, it was like when I was chatting with her, off screen and we were, building our budding love affair. And I noted and I asked her, did she vlog? And she was like, no, I don't. I was like, oh, okay. But I knew I just from chatting with her, I knew she had this bright, shining energy, just and I'm one of those people like I know a star. I know a shining light when I see it. I have that intuition about people. And I'm like, and I'll be honest, as I was like just, going through the whole community and just like watching and like being in Chatland and stuff like that, I'm like, where are all the girls? Where are all the girls? I mean, the girls were in the comments, but I didn't see the girls on the screen, and I knew that the girls they had the pop and they have the flavor and they have the energy and they have the enthusiasm for comic books and toys and girls love all that geeky stuff. We absolutely do. And I'm like, I really want the ladies to be up there. I want everybody to see the ladies and like how much we freaking love this stuff too. And how we could talk about it too and get down with it too. So I through my motivational skills my secret power is my motivational skills. And eventually I convinced Sheena, I was like, we could just do an informal chat, Instagram, we just go live and we'll just talk. We were already talking. I was like, we'll just talk on camera and we'll just take it from there. And like we did, and like it was fantastic. It was great, and I always love talking to her, whether on camera or off camera. And when we're on camera, we're just super silly but we know what we're talking about with comics, So I thought that was important to just bring her energy forward, and bring more women, who love all this stuff, bring all their energy forward. And that's how we got the Gal Squad. And here we are. And Moonlit's doing her thing, and, Inja and Nicole. And oh my God, Fresh Princess. I love her. I've always been crushing on her for many years. And, all the other ladies out there. We're coming, guys. I promise you. I promise you.
I love it too, because like you said, Moonlit is maker. Like she just started up her own channel a few days ago,
Mm-hmm.
a month ago for you guys watching this right now. But you guys should definitely go check out that Moonlit. It had like
Mm-hmm.
an amazing first live stream the other day,
Yes.
and it was just fantastic.
Yes.
She was joined by like Azors, Geek Driven, a few other people. I'm trying to remember who was all there.
Everybody.
Yeah.
It was literally everybody in the chat. In the chat, the panel was great. It was like Hyper and oh my goodness, and Jeff. I
Yeah,
forget
Geek
Jeff.
Driven
Yeah,
was there.
yes. It was like a full panel. It was like 6 people on
Oh,
the panel.
Morbius
Yes.
Comics was on the
Hmm.
panel as well. I know there was a few other people, but I'm not too familiar with them. that were
Mm.
on the panel, but I didn't catch the live. I was busy at that time,
Oh,
but I
you
caught the
gotta watch
rewind,
it.
and holy crap, was it ever like it's almost 3 hours, man. Like I clicked on it, I was
Oh,
like,
right. But the chat, I mean the panel itself was great. They did a fantastic breakdown, awesome breakdown. And but down the chat land, oh my god. I am like I'm always making up movie scenes in my mind. I'm telling you, I have like this gigantic imagination. And I just imagined it as like we're at this movie theater and it's just like the craziest movie theater ever. And we're just doing this crazy movie because I mean the chat land was like insanely fun. So yes, guys, we're out here and we're doing big things, and I love it. I love the lady shining. I absolutely, that was my whole goal and mission. I wanted the ladies to come out of the stands and stand in front of the crowd and just do their thing, and I'm so
it,
happy.
it's great too, yeah, because like you're showing women that it's like you guys can come out, like you guys are going to get your own fan base and get more women into comic books. I can
Mhm.
see that happening, and it's all because of you, like telling them like let's get together and do this, let's talk about it, let's show them that we know a thing or two about comic books and we love comic books. Just we can hang with the guys too.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, we can. I mean, I don't know if you listen to our saga chat, but we go in, and like I said, Inja, when she does her when she does her breakdown of a scene, I mean, she just leaves you in awe, like, that was a good point. Wow. And then you have to stop and contemplate it, like, wow, good job. Awesome.
And like yeah, like as there's more and more women getting into this, doing YouTube and that. Like I know Comics Will Break Your Heart. It's been doing it for a while with that comic girl, and she has her own channel. I knew there's a DC Comic Queen who used to do YouTube content, but now she just does stuff on Instagram. But like I love how like yeah, you guys do it every Tuesday. Do you guys have any plans after Saga?
Absolutely. Well, Saga, I don't know if you do you read Saga? Did you the Saga
I have
series?
read like the first volume and then put it down and then haven't gone back.
Okay. Saga is exactly that. It is an ongoing space epic saga. It went for 9 volumes, which is what we're doing. We started doing, we're on week 6. So we're on volume 6. It goes through 9 volumes, and it the writer and the series creator, the writer and the artist, it's a team, Fiona Staples and Brian Vaughn. They needed to take a break because Saga is deep. It touches. That's why so many people around the world love it. It touches on a lot of stuff, a lot of issues and real life issues, but it's in a comic book format. And they took a break so that they can refresh their creative energy. And it actually is kicking back up. Well, at this point in time, it probably would be on issue 2. So it comes back. It came back January 2022. So that was the whole point. We wanted to lead into the relaunch of the Saga series, the Saga comic book. So we are hoping that we can. It won't be every Tuesday because obviously it only releases once a month. But we're definitely hoping to continue the Saga book club. At least once a month to go over, the new issues of the series and like break those down and do all the fun stuff that we were doing, these past couple weeks.
It always like it's always fun to like. Of course, you love reading comic books and that, but it's always fun to like go back and experience like a series with some friends as well. Because like I
Right.
had that with Big Herm, when we did the whole Spawn compendium,
Nice.
and we went through the first 50 issues of that, and we had a great time. So that'll always hold a special place in my heart. I can always go back and be like, oh man, like go back 10 years from now and
Right.
watch that too, because it's on YouTube. YouTube's forever.
Right. 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 Yeah, it is. I always wanted like girlfriends I could like geek out with. Like in real life, my girlfriends they're too cool for all this. I'll just say that. I love them, but they're way too cool. I'm like the geekiest, silliest one out of all of them. And I always wanted like girlfriends, like you said, to experience this part of my life with. And through divine intervention, universe, whatever you want to call it, I am so thank girls, if you watch this, I'm so thankful for you because like I said, you have made this adventure so much more fun and exciting. And like, like you were saying, TM, it's nothing like reading a great story with, your homies or your homettes.
I love how you said homats. That's love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, I can recommend you a few books. Like I know Brian K. Vaughan, he's wrote in I'm only I only read the first volume of it. I'm waiting for the second volume, but Paper Girls is fantastic. I don't know if you've read
Yeah, I've
that.
heard a few people have recommended that to me. I haven't looked into it, but a lot of people have recommended it to me, and I think they said Fiona Staples also does the art on that as well. And she's a great, phenomenal artist. So I'll definitely have to like circle back and like maybe like look at like some. I have Comixology, so that's where I used to get all my free stuff on. So I'll have to circle back and like check and see if they have like a couple free issues on there.
Another one, I'm sure you've heard it from me and a few other people in this community, but The Wicked and the Divine as well.
Yes, and I read the first issue. A lot of people recommended it, and I'm one of those people. I love horror stuff, but I'm also scared of it at the same time. So I'll watch a horror picture like this,
Yeah,
and love the whole thing. I love horror comics, and I know this isn't tech, and I love paranormal stuff. So I think this more leans towards the paranormal side. And I read the first issue, and I had to read it again, or I had to read it with somebody because I didn't get it. I'm sorry, and it looks like a great story, but I feel like it's something I would have to like read with somebody, and they would have to like break down to me exactly what's happening.
I had that. Well, I still have to get through it. I'm still it does get wordy. Like there is like pages I showed before. Like it is literally a full page of just words, and not like the Department of Truth where it's just little notes and that. Like it's a full page of words, like for like 6 or 7 pages.
Oh
And I'm
wow!
like, I put it down, and that's volume 8. So I just need to get through that and then complete volume 8 and then read volume 9, and then I'm done with the series of The Wicked and the
Okay,
Divine. Sister Joe, Brother Joe's lovely wife, has already gotten through it all. Um, so, and
yeah,
she's reading Saga right now. She actually, no, I think she read it or finished it. I think she finished Saga.
okay, awesome. I hope
Uh,
you do a breakdown on Wicked and Divine because I need to watch. I I need some notes. Like I'm totally lost. I had to give up. I was like, and I usually catch on to stuff pretty quick. But I was like, I don't know what's happening. Have you ever read Die? Like, cause what is that? Kieran Gillian or something like that. He's a writer.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because he's the writer of The Wicked and the Divine.
Right, that's why I was bringing that up. Like I know that he's the writer of Die, and I was pretty sure that was him on Wicked and Divine. Die is like that too. It's like you'll be reading it and they were like, what is going on? And then like you have to read it again. Like you'll have to read the whole issue again to like lock in on what you're reading.
Isn't Die like it's a game, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, these kids get well, it jumps it starts off in the past and then it jumps to the present. So when they were kids, one of their friends found this game. I can't remember exactly how he came along. It's like it's a role RPG, it's a role playing game. Like Dungeons and Dragons. It's like in the vein of like Dungeons and Dragons. And they play this game and like somehow they get really transported into like the game itself. It's like this mystical actual land and they all become characters and they all wield different powers and they get hurt and then somehow they're transported back to present time, but their friend is missing and the one girl doesn't have an arm. And then basically as adults they find themselves going back to the game and trying to like it just gets crazy. It's like it's a crazy game adventure real life kind of situation. It's really good, but like I said, you have to read every issue maybe twice to really lock in on what is happening in the plot.
And that's gone on quite a few issues, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I stopped reading it. I stopped reading it a few issues back, but I feel like they're on like maybe like 19. They're probably past that by now. I feel like they're probably past that. But yeah, it's going on for a while.
That's awesome. So we're coming up to that hour. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a fantastic conversation with you.
Oh, thank you so I'm like, thank you for asking. I'm so totally excited to be on Whiplash Wednesday. Yay. And your awesome show. And I'm so glad your channel is. I see your channel growing too. And I'm like, I think it's fantastic. This isn't easy. And I just want to tell you in particular, everybody listening, but you in particular, definitely keep going because all that great energy you are in support, you are shining out, it will definitely, circle back and come to you. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be at you're going to be at that 1K. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say 6 months. 6 months, 1K, TM Nerdy for sure.
You heard it. It's going to happen.
It's happening. I called it.
But like she said, Whiplash Wednesdays is still here. It's today. It's continuing. Nick Comic Culture with his second video of the day showing you what he picked up and why he picked it up. Then Brandon, that's Comics Kings, and Missing Link, that's Stefan, is chopping it up about Crisis on Infinite Rants. What are they ranting about this week? Tune in and find out. And then at the end, closing the night with fashion is Big Herm Collectibles with Let's Talk About It Remastered. He's joined by Fable, One Collection Down, and Missing Link, that's Stefan. The links are down below to everyone in the PCP Army Bad Batch, the Backlogbros. Who are they? Tune in and find out. And then all the friends of the channel are down there as well, so go find out them. As well, go check out Ultra Q on Instagram and YouTube. Like we talked about a little bit of her shows that she has, but she also does amazing live reviews on comic books. Quite a bit of them, actually.
Thank you. Station Travis. I'm sorry. I have to do the wave. I'm sorry. That's just
Station. So how I always like to end it, is there something that you've been reading or that you want to like give a highlight to, like a couple of books and that you think people should be reading?
Absolutely. Seven Secrets. Boom Studios is so underrated. They have really great art, really great storylines. So Seven Secrets, we only find them when they're dead. Anything AWA, Artist Writers Association. They did Not All Robots. Definitely check that out. Aftershock is pretty good too. What can I recommend? Tales of Mother F Goose. Please read that. It is shockingly fun. So yeah, definitely Boom doing their thing. AWA, Aftershock, anything with those, taglines you can't go wrong with. So yeah, indies forever. I'm indie girl now. I've left Marvel Land, I think.
Wait, we got to get you like over to the Image side of it too. I support Image. I love Image is like a top tier of what I pick up.
Yeah, I like Image too. We'll have to have a chat about Image. Like their backlog of digital is like amazing. So many titles I think people just are missed, and I hope they circle back to them. But yeah, Image for sure. Image, absolutely.
And you mentioned AWA. Did you read Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal?
I see the ads for that at the back. I have not checked that out. I'm honestly not sure what it's about. I see the ads, but I never like journey to actually explore what it's about. But is it like
It's definitely, it's a fun series. Like, don't take it too seriously.
Okay.
And it's about like this one girl, Marjorie. She's jumping through time and that, and just causing chaos and having fun all the time. She has like a guy in a jar, like his head's there, and she needs him to like teleport. Then you have her sister, who's part of like the time keepers, like just imagine the time variant police, like from Loki, coming up and trying to like clear up the timeline. And that she does that, and she's running after her sister in this, and they get through a bunch of stuff.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Like it's AWA. The reason why I'm switching to indies is because they're not scared. They're not scared to jump out of the cookie cutter and like do a crazy story that we've all been waiting for. Like you said, time hopping and heads in refrigerators and all soul plumbers and all that. I mean, it's something for everybody in indie land, and I'm digging it for sure. Oh my god, vinyl. I don't. Do you read horror comics or no?
I do. It takes a certain type of horror comic to get me though. I'm not more into like the guts and gore type thing. Like
Okay.
I'm the same way with my movies too. I'm not like into that Saw type
Yeah.
stuff or any of that. I'm more into like a mystery thriller type of comic
Right.
book than that. So
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not a gore person either. But I do love a good like scary story. So I'll say vinyl is good, and then Fourth Man, if you're looking for like a new indie that just came out, the Fourth Man is really good. So check that out too.
do you guys get much Second Sight publishing books where you're at?
Is that no, I'm thinking of Tales from a Dead Astronaut. I don't think that's Second Sight, right? That's not Second Sight.
No,
No,
I don't
okay.
think so.
That's what I'm thinking of. No, you would have to name a title because I don't that one
Um,
is
they have The Edge by
mm,
Marvin Wynn. They have by Alfred Page. They have Blowtorch and Chess. They
mm.
also have what was that one? They do have These Damn Kids, which was a horror title as well.
These
They
damn
have
kids. Oh, I like that. I like the sound of that.
yeah, that's a horror book too, but it's like it's in my genre of like horror. There's not like the art does show like a bunch of skulls at one point, but it's like the art doesn't like depict them like that badly in it. Like it's not that visual.
Right.
Um,
I get
and
you.
it's a mystery type, supernatural type story. I got to read issue number 1 early, but I have
Mhm.
not read issue number 2 because my shop still doesn't get Second Sight publishing books.
And that's the oh man, you brought up a good point. I know you're trying to wrap it up. I'm sorry, but you definitely brought up a good point that some of these underground indies just don't get a chance to like put their titles in front of people. There's some that I literally I order from Philly Phil or Coffee and Comics because my shop just he literally was like some of these we just don't buy because we don't think we're going to sell them. And it's a shame because they have really great content and stories and they just cannot get their stuff in front of people. So I like to highlight those. So I'm gonna check it out. These damn kids. I'm checking that out for sure as soon as we get off here. I promise you.
Yeah. What helps too is like because shops don't know if they want to bring in comics or not. Like they don't know if people are going to buy them, so
Right.
they're taking a chance on it. So what really helps them determine what they're going to pick up or what they're going to bring into their shop is like pre-order. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you guys pre-order your comics, and that gives the shop like plenty of opportunity to bring those comic books into your shop.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. It's very true because a couple of things he didn't have and I ordered, and now when I go, I see them on the shelf. So I'm hoping other people start reading this so those they can get attention.
But thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, the link to her Instagram and YouTube is down below, as well as HK Wifey's Instagram. So go check them both out. You won't be disappointed. And like I said, Whiplash Wednesday is continuing. Go check out what everybody from the PCP Army Bad Batch has to offer on this beautiful new comic book day. Station everybody, and as always, stay nerdy, my friends.